Manx Radio Sport.
Yes, a very good evening and welcome to Saturday Classifieds with myself, Ben Cunningham, and Tony Mepham and Dave Christian. We'll be looking at all the football, the rugby and hockey that have took place today on the island and off island over the next hour, and we'll also look at FC Isle of Man's game at the Bowl this evening. We'll catch up with Rob Pritchard very shortly, but first we'll have a look at the classified results. And we will start with football and the Plum Property Railway Cup semi-finals. Ayr United 3, Laxey 2. Corinthians 3, Peel 4. Canada Life Premier League, Russian United 2, Marown 1. Foxdale against St John's, match postponed. Union Mills 4, Ramsey 5. In Arden and Druggan Division 2, Castletown 4, Douglas and District 4. Michael United 0, Pulrose 9. Braddon 4, Douglas Royal 1. Maloo against Douglas High School Old Boys, match postponed. Canada Life Combi 1, Marown 1, Russian 4. St John's United 9, Foxdale 1. Ramsey 12, Union Mills 0. Laxey 4, Corinthians 8. Onken 3, Peel 1. In Arden and Druggan Combi 2, Ramsey Youth Centre and Old Boys against Douglas Athletic, a home walkover to Ramsey Youth Centre, Douglas Athletic Cuntfield team. Douglas and District 6, Castletown 3. Pulrose against Michael United, match postponed, a home walkover to Pulrose. Douglas Royal 1, Braddon 1. Governors Athletic 5, Gyms 6. In Regional 2 Northwest in rugby, Witness 5, Douglas 36. Turning to hockey, England Hockey Women's Tier 2 Knockout Championship, second round. Isle of Man Women's A 1, Liverpool Sefton Ladies First 3. In England Hockey Men's Tier 2 Knockout Championship, second round. Isle of Man Men's A 5, Preston Men's First 6. In England Hockey Men's Tier 3 Knockout Championship round, second round. West Bridgford Men's Second 1, Isle of Man Men's B1, Isle of Man losing 2-1 on Flicks. And in Mixed Division 1, a rescheduled match from 2 weeks ago, and that was Castletown Southerners 3, Backers C 1. Those are your classified results for this evening. So I'll get my papers in order and we will say a very good evening to Tony Mepham, who's got himself back all the way from the far, far north. Good evening, Tony.
It was a bit of a trip, Ben, but where we were, it was pretty cold, so the heater was on full blast there coming up over the mountain, and we got in perfect time. And I'm glad it didn't go to extra time because it was getting pretty chilly. But two big results in Manx football in the Plum Properties Railway Cup semi-finals.
Yeah, and we will look straight at that. And let's go to the game you were at. Ayr United 3, Laxey 2.
Yeah, and I think we knew this one was going to be quite tight, and two sides that sort of could cancel each other out, and that's what it was like a little bit in the first half. But it was Ayr who took the lead early on. It was Sean Kelly who got the goal, and then it was Charlie Robinson who equalised I thought it was a pretty good finish by Charlie because he was patient in the finish. Okay, it took a bit of a deflection, but the intent was in there, and 1-1 it was. But start the second half, it really was frantic football because it was Declan Cummins after some great work down the left flank by Harry Best, and he managed to get a good cross in. He had a good second half, Harry Best, and there was Declan, and again he just controlled the ball so well. Similar position to Charlie Robinson, to be honest with you, and placed it to the goalkeeper's left hand side, and it was 2-1 it was to United. And then you just thought there's goals in this because the second half was a lot more open, a lot more chances, and it was a super bit of football, I think, to create that fourth goal of the game. And it was Will Cowan, who got it, and it was Brodie Patience who picked the ball up just in the middle and played it out to the left-hand side, and there was Adam Meelan there, and his cross was put in perfectly. Yes, Will had to do a bit of work to it. He had to get down to put it in, but he got it past the goalkeeper to make it 2-2, and we just thought this is going to go all the way to extra time. Chris Duggan had a chance, and that was, I think it was chalked off, but certainly the one that finished the game off was the corner from Chris Duggan. Right-footed corner straight in, and as you would expect, Sean Kelly, probably one of the tallest players in the game today, was there to rise above them and head it past the goalkeeper. And with about a minute, 2 minutes tops, Ben, to go, there was no chance of Laxey getting back into it. And it's Ayr United who go into the final on Boxing Day.
So heartbreak for Laxey there against Ayr United, and then we go to the game that Rob was at, Corinthians against Peel. And it was heartbreak for Corinthians. They were 2 up, and it's ended Corinthians 3, Peel 4.
Yeah, really gut-wrenching that for Corinthians to take on board, because when I heard it was 2-0, I thought, yeah, it's going pretty well, this one, and they're going to sort of take victory in this, but it didn't happen that way, and it was just, I don't know what's happened defensively or whatever, I'm not too sure, but it was a great start for Corinthians, and I think the first one was scored by Joe Middleton, and I think I might have a bit of a report here from Rob. I have, so let's take this one. So it was Corinthians goal scorers were Joe Middleton, Dan Simpson, welcome him back. He's had 3 or 4 games now after that broken leg. He got a couple of goals. Peel scorers, as you'd expect, Thomas Brown with 2, Aaron Costain and Dan Pickering. Corinthians took the lead inside 3 minutes through Joe Middleton's calm 1-on-1 finish before Dan Simpson doubled their advantage on the half-hour mark. There was then a 15-minute delay due to the referee picking up an injury. That's Steph Hall, lady referee, superb she is, and a replacement was then found. 15 seconds into the second half, Peel got their first with a bullet strike from Thomas Brown, and 5 minutes after Simpson got his second with another good 1-on-1 finish. Brown then got another for Peel a few moments later with a well-placed free kick. That's Thomas Brown all over. And then it would remain 3-2 until the 87th minute when Peel's substitute Aaron Costain headed home from a corner. As Peel piled on more pressure, they got a dramatic late winner in the 90th minute when Paul Whitehead scuffed a half volley which floated to the back post for Dan Pickering to head in from close range. A fabulous display from both teams, and I would argue an early contender for game of the season. Well, certainly a lot of excitement in there. Thanks, Rob, for that report. A lot of detail in there. But I did say with Thomas Brown back in the starting lineup today was going to be a big problem for them. He's definitely the star of the show at the moment in Manx football, and with 2 goals for him, and I'm looking forward to watching play in the Boxing Day final against Ayr United.
Yeah, so that final's going to be on Boxing Day. Is that going to be at the Bowl?
It's at the Bowl, 2 o'clock kick-off, so it's got to be finished on the day, so it'll be extra time penalties if needed, so we can put in place now. There will be probably one fixture now that will be postponed in the games that were already put on, Ben, because we didn't know what the results were going to be, so we'll work on that one. But don't panic, those 2 sides there, Ayr United and Peel, you won't be asked to be playing football on the 28th, 2 days after the final, so don't worry about that one.
Brilliant. So the Plum Properties Railway Cup final on Boxing Day at 2 o'clock is going to be Ayr United against Peel, and that'll be a real good spectacle. If we look at the scores today, I think it's going to be a very close one, Tony.
It is going to be a close one, and what can we take from the game I saw today? Ayr United aren't at it at the moment. So, there's a good opportunity here for Peel. When you look at it, sort of at the start of the season, Ayr were the favourites by many to win the league. And they're still up there. They still might win the league. But they're just, a little bit short up front, I think, because it's not quite happening for them. And when you look at it, Sean Kelly, a bit like Thomas Brown, the two clubs rely heavily on one person. Sean Kelly's a little bit trickier to deal with his height, but Thomas Brown has got so much pace and so much trickery, then that's hard to deal with. So, yeah, it's going to make good for a game of football. There's a lot of young players in both squads, which I'm looking forward to watch. I love Boxing Day, Ben. I think it's one of my favourite finals throughout the season because you can watch a good game, you can go and have a beer with your mates afterwards, and then watch a shed load of Premier League in the UK afterwards, and maybe have another beer.
Absolutely. Let's look at the Canada Live Premier League, and we'll start with Russian 2, Meran 1.
Yeah, and that's a good result that for Russian, because you look at the league tables there this morning. It was Russian were in 10th place, had played 12 for 11 points, and Meran were bottom of the table, played 13 for 3. Meran have been playing well recently, and another good performance by them today. It was Jack Saxon, blast from the past, in there scoring a goal for Russian. Aaron Hawley got the second one, another old hand, but he's certainly still playing at the top of his game. It was Conor Gilbert who got the consolation goal for Meran, but no sort of big disappointments, I don't think, for Meran. It was an opportunity for them to pick up 3 points, but it hasn't happened. But they are very, very close now to the teams that they're playing, and only just losing out to a team above them is not a bad performance.
Okay, and Foxdale against St John's, that was postponed. Is that down to pitch not being fit?
To be fair, Ben, there's a bit of everything going on at Foxdale at the moment, because last week their pitch took an absolute battering. The roller goals actually were blown over face down, so it bent all the goals. There was all sorts of carnage that hit the building and smashed the guttering and stuff like that. They haven't been able to cut the pitch because of the weather, and there was just a bit of everything. So I feel sorry for Foxdale at the moment, because it's just all going wrong for them, with the posts and everything, because there's the expense to take into that as well. But the little bit of water on the pitch as well, it just couldn't happen, and that's why the game will be rearranged.
Union Mills 4, Ramsey 5.
This is a right humdinger, this one, because when you look at the score, and I can't get it up on my phone at the moment, but Jack Murray got a couple of goals. Oren Mitchell, I think it was, got one as well. But it just didn't happen for Ryan Kelly, because Union Mills were flying. I think there was something like 3-1 up or something like that. But Ramsey came really good in the second half, and you can see why, because Tom Chattel must be back from university or whatever, because he's been away. A couple of goals for him. Dylan Pickles as well has found his form again. He got a couple of goals, and Greg Hepburn as well got one for Ramsey. So an absolute tremendous game by all accounts, and the 3 points go to Ramsey.
Let's look at Arden and Drugan Division 2, and we start with Castletown against Douglas District. 4-4. Yeah,
that's a great result, that, for Douglas and District, because it was 3-2 at half time. So what a second half performance by D&D. The goal scorers for Douglas and District was Joe Lewis, Dan Robson, and Jacob Preston there with the third one. For Castletown, Lucas Simmons, he got 2 last week, he got 2 again today. Ash Egan got 1 last week, he got 1 today, and an own goal as well. So Castletown will pick up the 3 points there. They go on 21 and come alongside Ramsey Youth Centre, but with a far superior goal difference. So they're up into third spot, chasing the pack down in front of them, Old Boys and Braddon. But a big sort of, I think, drop of 2 points for Castletown, because they were expected to take 3 there, because D&D are at the foot of the table.
Michael United 0, Paul Rose 9.
Yeah, I haven't got the goal scorers for Paul Rose, but 7th place against Michael United, who are above them in 6th. But unfortunately, Michael lost a few players. But today, it was a real tough game for them. If anyone's got the goal scorers for us, please, for Paul Rose, please text them through 166 177.
Braddon 4, Douglas Royal 1.
2-1 at half time, and Braddon going well, and a lot to thank in Liam Kane, new signing. He got 3 of the goals. Nick Harvey got the 4th. Simon Dooley scored from the penalty spot for Douglas Royal.
Malou against Douglas High School and Old Boys, that was postponed again.
Pitch
again.
problem, yep.
Yeah, no worries. Canada Life Combination 1, we start at Moran against Russian United. Moran 1, Russian United 4.
Yeah, and Russian keeping in touch at the top of the table because certainly today they had it pretty comfortable. Haven't got Moran's goal scorer, but for Russian United, Ollie Condon got one, Fingal Watterson, Chris Shimon and Andrew Blake completing the scoring. So good result for Russian.
St John's United 9, Foxdale 1.
Yeah, just trying to get the goal scorers on that one if we can, please. 166, 177, but back on form, I think, St John's, because you look at them 6th in the league, expected to be a lot higher than that. They've lost a few points over the last few games and conceded quite a few goals too, but today got it right, 9-1. And I know they had one or two, I think, first team players that were available due to rotation, and they made the team a lot stronger.
Another team that's really got it definitely right today is Ramsey. They played Union Mills. Ramsey 12, Union Mills 0.
Yeah, they've got a colossal goal difference here, Ramsey. When you look at it now, they're on plus 47, now. So they're absolutely flying in front of goal. Ryan Kelly with 4. Harry Blissett got 3. Connor Bloomer with a couple of goals. Will Mohammed and Furat Agun got the other one, and an own goal as well. So Ramsey, they're on 28 points, but Russian go on to 30 now, and Onken as well on that 30 points, but we'll come to them in a minute, and their points tally does increase when we give the score.
Yeah, Laxey 4, Corinthians 8.
Yeah, haven't got Laxey's goal scorers, but for Corinthians, goals shared really here. Lewis Radcliffe, Ryan Nelson, he got a hat-trick, I think. Caleb Hugill got one. Oscar Watterson and Connor Clark, and an own goal, I think it was, as well. So, yeah, Corinthians were 4-2 up at half-time.
Onken 3, Peel 1.
And there's your league leaders, remain top of the table. And we'll try and find out Onken's goal scorers if we can. But for Peel, it was George Taylor. Now, if my maths are right, I think that's his first senior goal, because he's only just turned 16. He's about 16 and a half now. So his dad will be proud, and his dad was away watching the Liverpool game today. So you've missed that one, Steve, but he's been in the first team substitute, so it shows what a quality young player he is. And today, just given a full 90 minutes in the combination, has proved his worth with that cracking goal. But Onken it was who sort of did really well in this 3-1 winners, and Nick Cowell was the referee. Great report in by him.
Yeah, and let's go to Arden and Druggen Combination 2. We start with Ramsey Youth Centre and Old Boys against Douglas Athletic. That was given as a home walkover to Ramsey Youth Centre. Is that down to...
That was Athletic couldn't field the team today. I don't know the reasons why, but yeah, it's a walkover, 3 points to Youthy.
Okay, we look at Douglas and District against Castletown, 6-3 to Douglas and District.
Good result for D&D, and certainly one to watch out for. I think Curtis Davey, he got 2 goals today, his first senior goal, so that's always nice to see something like that. An own goal, Daniel Stewart-Clegg got a couple of goals, and Mark Quirk with his second goal of the season. And well done to D&D, that's the double they've done on Castletown this season, home and away. Ollie Lee got 2 of the goals for Castletown. Harrison Larkin got the third.
Pulrose United against Michael United. That was given as a home walkover to Pulrose. Again, is that down to team availability or pitch?
Yeah, Michael, as you probably know, lost quite a few players. So, they're working on very fine margins now with players. And unfortunately today, a lot of players couldn't make it. I think they've taken some from the combi and played them in the first team as well. So, yeah, the 3 points go to Pulrose.
Douglas Royal 1, Braddon 1.
That's a good result, I think, for Douglas Royal. I know they've only got a point out of it, but when you look where Braddon are fourth, Douglas Royal are next to the bottom. Good performance, and it does help when you get one of the first team players available. Sorry, I can't give you too much praise, Simon, but Simon Dooley held his nerve and scored from the penalty spot for Royal, but it was Boo Brown who got the goal for Braddon, so point shed.
And then how about this to finish off our results today? Governors Athletic 5, Jim 6.
That's a belter, isn't it? 11 goals, but it's not the highest score of the day, was it? I think Corinthians Laxey get that accolade. But for Governors Athletic today, it was Tom Davies, he got a hat-trick. Vinnie Cowley, he got 2. And then for Jims, and pardon the two of the goal scorers, because I've got the first names but I haven't got the surnames, but Daniel Cooley got a couple of goals, then Harry somebody else got 2, and then Charles got 2 as well. So if you've got surnames for them, that'd be quite handy. But good result that for Jims, and when you look at them, bottom of the table playing against Governors who were 6th, and the excuse, let's say it's an excuse from Governors, bad day in the office.
Bad day in the office. So yeah, if you've got them names, 166177 on text or on WhatsApp. That concludes all the local fixtures, but of course you're not done just yet, Tony. You're heading down to the bowl pretty soon to join Rob, who we're going to speak to very shortly. He's got team news that's just come in, so we'll speak to him in a minute. But FC Isle of Man against Stockport Town, how do you see this one going?
It's a tough one because, when I look at Stockport's last track record over the last 6 games, I think they've won 2, lost 4. So, FC Isle of Man have been pretty strong. I know they've dropped points recently, but only just. They haven't been getting a whipping by anybody. And when you look at that league table, it's quite nice to look at, isn't it? When they're
it's a better picture than last year.
Well, exactly. You're looking at them in 5th spot, and when you look at the games that they've got coming up as well, so no, it's going to be great to see. It's I just hope a lot of people who maybe sat at home and just want some fresh airs go down and support them, because they're a good footballing side. There's a lot to play for because they're playing for that promotion. And when you look at it, this journey only started 4 years ago. And they got promotion in that first year and that cup win as well. And now they're really challenging high at the top. And when you look at Bury and FC Isle of Man, 2 positions apart, you just think, what's all this about? And it just shows you how far FC Isle of Man come in this. So, yeah, I wish them well tonight. We'll be covering the game at 6 o'clock. And don't panic, Rob, I'm on my way.
Don't panic, Rob. He's on his way. Well, let's speak to Rob right now, who's down at FC at the Bowl, and he's going to give us all the team news. Good evening, Rob.
Yeah, good evening, Ben. Thanks very much. Welcome to the first time this evening to the Bowl Stadium in Douglas ahead of this latest NWCFL Premier Division clash between FC Isle of Man and Stockport Town, with kick-off in just over 35 minutes' time. We can bring you team news indeed. Let's start with the team for the hosts, FC Isle of Man. In goal is Adam Killier, and then it's Ronan McDonnell, Jacob Crook, Jamie Corlett, Alex Maitland, Carl Watson, Steve Whitley, Sam Baines, the captain Sean Doyle, Dean Pennington and Luke Booth. Substitutes for FC Isle of Man are Charlie Higgins, Dan Hattersley, Tom Creer, Harley Jackson and Daniel Gerrard. And for the visitors, Stockport Town in goal is Joshua Schofield, and then outfield it's Ethan Padden, Joshua Edwards, Paul Turnbull, Kai Johnston, the captain Michael Folds, Harley Monaghan, Jack Atkinson, Daniel McLaughlin, Tobias Green and Keane Barra. The substitutes for Stockport Town, they are George Omokua, Alex Harvey, Jamie Walsh, Darren Emma-Mago and Jeffrey Edos Oni. The referee this evening is Harry Winters, and his assistants are Sam Palmer and Stuart Morris. Well, for FC Isle of Man, for the first time in over 2 months, they're looking to try and bounce back from a defeat in their last outing, a last gasp loss at the hands of AFC Liverpool 14 days ago. Looking to pick up on a bit of form after picking up just 1 point from a possible 6 in their last 2 games. That means that not only have they lost a little bit of ground maybe on the teams above them, but it's allowed the teams immediately beneath them in that really intense race for the promotion playoff spots just to catch up points-wise behind them. So no doubt Paul Jones will be looking to not just get back to winning ways over the 90 minutes, but try and give his team a little bit of leverage in the promotion playoff race. For Stockport Town, since their promotion from NWCFL Division 1 South last season, their season so far has been in a few peaks and troughs, and maybe just right now in terms of results they find themselves in one of those troughs. They've managed just 1 win in their last 5 compared to 4 wins in 5 to the 5 games prior to that. However, Paul Turnbull's side did manage a 2-1 victory over FC Isle of Man in the reverse fixture at Stockport Sports Village back in late August, and what's more as well, Stockport Town have taken some notable scalps this season. The likes of Chatterton, Lower Breck and FC St Helens have all fallen at the hands of Stockport Town at some point or another during the campaign so far. So Stockport Town more than capable on their day of upsetting the odds even against the big boys in the division. Stockport Town as well, they could move several places higher in the table, such as the congestion in mid-table at the moment if they're to get maximum points tonight. So for differing reasons, both sides have plenty of incentive to go out there and try and take the game to the other. They've been entertaining contests between these 2 sides in the 3 meetings so far. Will we see that again this evening? Only time will tell. FC Isle of Man versus versus Stockport Town in the NWCFL Premier Division. Kick-off at 6pm here at the Ball in Douglas. Full live match commentary with myself and Tony Mepham from 6pm on Manx Radio DAB and AM 1368. In the meantime, Ben, back to you.
Rob, thank you very much for that. What's the atmosphere like down there? Sounds good crowd in already.
Yeah, people filtering in slowly. I mean, this is typically the time of year where, as we all know, the Manx weather really starts to close in, but the hardy souls keep on coming into this stadium week after week when FC Isle of Man are at home. And home games, of course, have been a bit of a premium for FC Isle of Man, given their schedule. They've only played 8 home games so far, compared to 18 on their travels at the moment. But that set of home fixtures is due to turn going into the new year and into 2025. They start to rack up the games here at the Bowl. They'll certainly be trying to make a home advantage count, and if they can get plenty of fans through the door from their side of things, it could really push them onto things for the rest of the season.
And Rob, Tony's just said he thinks Santa's going to be making an appearance down there tonight. Have you seen him?
I haven't seen him with my own eyes just yet, Ben, but my sources do tell me Santa is in the building. No doubt he'll make an appearance this evening. Keep an eye out for him.
Great stuff, Rob. Cheers for that, Rob. We'll speak to you very soon. Thank you very much. Tony, let's get your verdict on the team news there.
Yeah, just one name that's missing there. I don't know if he's not available. Ryan Burns, I think since he's come back in the squad, he's done really well. Great to see Alex Maitland back in because he's been pivotal over the last 4 years, really, to be fair. Keeping things nice and tight at the back, and the hamstring injury hopefully is gone. But Jamie Corlett is, as good a player, to come in to play alongside him. Adam Killier, I thought, was quite quiet in the last home game because he didn't really have much to do. But Ronan McDonnell on that right-hand side, obviously Callum Sherry's not available today, and Ronan's a good player, but he's more of a midfield player, but he can play that right full-back role. Jacob Crook, Mr. Consistent. I don't know how many man of the matches he's won this year, but certainly 3 that I can think of. And then when you look at midfield, you've got Steve Whitley in there, who's hitting in a bit of form. Sam Baines is really well, and it's quite interesting. Dean Pennington. There's 3 players there, all left-footed, in that midfield role. So see how they do. And then he'll play Sean Doyle and Luke Booth. And, Luke's scored some wonderful goals, and Sean Doyle's just awesome in front of goals. So it looks really good on paper. And, let's just hope that they can get another 3 points and keep in contact at the top of that table, because at the moment everything's going so well for them.
Yeah, Luke Booth and Sean Doyle have been really good up front for them, and they'll be hoping that they keep them fit really going forward for the remaining fixtures. Yeah,
well, when you look back over the last 3-4 years, Sean Doyle's been phenomenal, but Luke Booth has only really come in this year, and he scored some fantastic goals at home, and it's really good to see. I thought the last game we had at home, it was a little bit difficult for him because Sean and Luke are similar players as short, but the thing is with Sean, he can shield the ball really well, as where Luke's quite direct with it, and he'll have a pop from any distance. But Steve Whitley's important as well, because when it's not going well on the right hand side for him, switch him over to the left and he'll cause damage over there. So right the way round, midfield work hard, defensive looks strong, and a good goalkeeper. It's a strong squad.
Absolutely. So last thing, Tony, before I let you go. Of course, the last few weekends we've got now up till Christmas. This is our last Saturday classified. So what's the remaining fixtures up to New Year?
Right, New Year, we've got obviously Boxing Day now. We know the finalists, and that'll be Ayr against Peel. That game kicks off 2 o'clock at the Bowl. So the Plum Properties Railway Cup Finals, always well supported. It's one of the biggest crowds of the year. Then the 28th, we've got a full league programme. Now, I set out a full set of fixtures, but obviously I'm going to have to tweak with them now. I think it's 1 game we lose. Something in my mind says it was Ayr against Laxey, so we'll lose that because obviously Ayr in the final. But I think it might have been Peel's free week, but we'll check on that one. And then the next set of fixtures is the ECAP FA Cup on Saturday the 4th of January, so there's nothing else in between that one. There'll be rearranged fixtures on that. We'll get that sorted out this week. So a lot of football, but it's time for people to be with their friends, be with the family, have a good time over Christmas, and then we'll see you all down at the Bowl on Boxing Day.
Absolutely. Well, Tony, have a great Christmas, and we will speak to you in the new year.
Certainly will, and all the best to you and your family, Ben.
Cheers, Tony.
Manx Radio Sport.
Okay, and we're going to go to Dave Christian. A very good evening, Dave. Just the one fixture for you to tell us about.
Yeah, just the one, but it's quite a big one in terms of the season for Douglas Rugby Club in Regional 2 Northwest. They've been going great guns at home, back-to-back wins. I think it's 4 in a row now, but they hadn't won away from home, which was really causing them, I wouldn't say problems in the league standings, but it meant they were unable to reach the upper echelons of the table. Today they won at Widnes 36-5, quite an emphatic win against a team that beat them at Portashee in week 1, 15-13. So a big turnaround in form, which gives you an idea of just how far this Douglas team have come since the start of the season. Unfortunately, they're in a mad dash to get to the airport, so coach Phil Kringle has not been able to give me his scorers. But I can say that Douglas led 17-5 at half-time, 3 first-half tries and a conversion. Widnes's fullback Jack Krauser pulled a try back for his side just to keep them in touch. But in the second half, Douglas added a further 19 points without reply. They've claimed a try bonus point on the road. They've got Eccles at Portashee next Saturday for the final game of 2024. And depending on other results, Douglas win could see them move into the top 5, which was something we didn't really foresee at the start of the season. In and around them in the table, they're joint 7th at the moment with Widnes. Widnes actually claims 7th place by virtue of them having won 6 games. Douglas only won 5. But just above Widnes, we've got Burnage and Altrincham Kersal in 6th and 5th place, all on 30 points. Douglas are on 29. Eccles are below them in the standings. Widnes are away at league leaders Furwood Waterloo next week. So that's going to be a big challenge for Widnes, and I'm sure we'll see Douglas pick up some points against Eccles. We'll be there to cover that one for Saturday Live, whatever time the kick-off is. That's next Saturday, the 21st of December, down there at Portashee Meadow.
Dave, brilliant. Thank you very much. So, looking ahead to the remainder of the year, few fixtures for all the clubs on the island.
Yeah, we've got the last competitive fixture is this Douglas against Eccles, and that was rearranged due to Storm Dara. That meant Eccles were unable to fly, so that game being re-penciled in for the 21st, which isn't extremely popular with all the players, from both sides, I would add, because we're at the height of the Christmas party season, but that's the way it goes sometimes, and you can't get on with the weather. On Boxing Day, there's a whole host of festive fixtures. We've got Castletown with their memorial match down at Portashee. That is, I think, an early kick-off, 12:30. Southern Nomads play an unders and overs friendly game at Ballakillia Park. We've got Vagabonds against the Young Farmers. That is a friendly game, but I think we'll find it's quite competitive. That's
it's always friendly with the Young Farmers.
Indeed, that's at 2 o'clock at Bella Fletcher, again on Boxing Day. And we also have the Jim Nicholson Front Row Challenge. Not got a date set for that yet. It's likely to be either Saturday the 28th or Sunday the 29th. That'll be up at Ramsey. Kick-off time to be confirmed. And, of course, as soon as that is, we'll get that publicised. So that's all coming up over the Christmas period. And I think, off the top of my head, Douglas are straight back in action on the 5th of January. The league doesn't hold up for that much for them. They're away at Vale of Loon, Saturday the 4th of January. So straight back into action, no rest for the wicked, as they say. And that sort of means you don't get too much of a Christmas break. But the Douglas have had a few weeks off. The Storm Dara and the storm that came before it, Abigail, I think. Those two storms really put in the muckers on the fixture list. So the players have had some unexpected rest, which I guess sort of makes up for the fact that they don't get too much time off over Christmas.
Absolutely, Dave. Well, Dave, Merry Christmas to you, Happy New Year, and we will speak to you in the new year.
Excellent. Cheers, Ben. You too.
Cheers. Cheers, Dave.
Manx Radio Sport.
And finally, we look at the hockey, which has been taking place on the Isle of Man this today. And we have had some England Hockey Tier 2 Championship second round games taking place at the NSC today. I believe the crowds down there have been absolutely brilliant today. And we kicked off with the Isle of Man Ladies A team. They welcomed Liverpool Sefton's ladies first team. and that didn't go the way the Ladies A wanted. A 3-1 defeat for our Ladies A against Liverpool Sefton. A really close game by all accounts, and half-time 2-1, so it was all to play for in that second half. Again, then the next game was at 1 o'clock, and it was again in the Tier 2 Knockout Championships, this time in the men's. And this scene saw the Isle of Man men's A team take on Preston's first men's team. And now Preston have been known for having a really strong squad, and they proved it today because the Isle of Man just lost out by 5-6 against Preston. It was a right good game, this, from all accounts I've heard. End-to-end stuff, and it was just Preston found the winner to take it off the Island team. So that means that the Isle of Man men's A and the ladies A sadly lost on home soil today, but it was well noted that the support and the atmosphere down at the NSC today at the NSC Astro was absolutely brilliant, and it made such a good atmosphere, and hopefully it won't be long until we have maybe more fixtures on the island. Let's hope we get more on the island. In the men's Tier 3 Knockout Championships, though, the Isle of Man men's B were taking part in this against West Bridford's men's seconds. This finished 1-1 at full time, so it went to penalty flicks, and unfortunately the Isle of Man again were on the receiving end of the loss. They narrowly lost out by 2-1. We have had some news in on this game. I will just find it, and here it is now. The Isle of Man goal scorer was Kieran Gell, and apparently the man of the match was Juan Belando from the Isle of Man. So a fantastic performance by the Isle of Man across there at West Bridgford. Commiserations for them that they're not coming back with the win, but I'm sure that everyone will be delighted that they gave a sterling effort in on this game. Elsewhere on the island, we did have one rearranged fixture that took place today, and that was in Mixed Division 1, and that was between Castletown Southerners and Backers C. And that went the way of Castletown Southerners, who are already crowned the Mixed Division 1 champions. Against they won that division, and they've secured it today even more by getting that last game that they needed to play won today. Goals for Andrew and Stanley, Lucy Allen and Robbie Volga, giving Castletown Southerners the win, and they will be going up into the Premier League next season, so we look forward to that. Looking ahead, we have got the Isle of Man under-14s boys. They travel to the UK for the second round of the England Hockey Junior Tier 2 Championship, and they play Preston under-14s boys. Your team is Ryan Cartwright, Ben White, Carl Joyce, Jasper Willie, Miles Stevens, Adam Eels, Christopher Harvey Crompton, Samuel Neto, Caleb Crellin, Charlie Dormer, Harry Lewis, Lucas Adams, William Miller, and Henry Stewart, with the coaches being Dan Stevens and Neve Goddard. We do wish them all the best of luck. As we've seen today, our island senior teams, giving all these teams from the UK a good run for their money. Can the under-14 boys go out to Preston and get the win? We wait to see on tomorrow's result. Looking ahead to the new year, we do have our men's and ladies seasons kicking off. They do kick off on the 11th of January. They will not be kicking off on the first weekend in January, and that's because we have yet again another game taking place on the island in the England Hockey Tier Championship, and that's going to be the Ladies B. They are going to be playing on home soil, so we'll get all the team news and everything for that as we get it. But of course, looking ahead, we've got a massive load of fixtures and leagues in the men's and ladies Premier League, in Division 1, Division 2, and of course we will have the men's and ladies plate, cup and bowl all to play for as well in the league. So that all kicks off come the new year in 2025. So that just about concludes Saturday Sport Classified and for this year. But first, we will have a look at the headlines making the news on this final 2024 Manx Radio Saturday Sport. In the Plum Property Railway Cup semi-final, drama in both semi-finals. Ayr United beating Laxey and Corinthians losing out to Peel. Into the Canada Life Men's Premier League, wins for Russian, Ramsey and of course Foxdale against St John's was postponed due to the pitch being unfit. In Arden and Druggan Division 2, Castletown and Douglas District couldn't be split, but wins for Pulrose United, Braddon and Maloo against Douglas High School Old Boys postponed. In Canada Life Combi 1, wins for Russian United, St John's United, Ramsey, Corinthians and Onken. And in Arden Druggan Combi 2, wins for Douglas and District, Jims and Douglas Royal and Braddon couldn't be separated. In Regional 2 Northwest, Douglas win on the road. They get a win by 36-5 against Witness. And then finally, in hockey, it wasn't the best of days for our island teams. Ladies A losing by 3-1, men's A losing by 6-5, and then the men's B just losing out on flicks by 2-1. That concludes full-time and classifieds here today on Manx Radio AM and for 2024. Thank you so much for your company throughout the year. Without you guys, it wouldn't be worth doing. Big thank you to Tony, Mepham and Dave Christian for their analysis as always. And of course, let's not forget Rob Pritchard and of course Simon Quine when he has sat in for Rob.